As children focus on colorful animations, lively songs, and funny gags, it's easy for a lot of adult humor to go right over their heads. This is why Disney has spent multiple decades inserting small adult jokes and visual gags into their films. Watch some of the most inappropriate scenes in Disney films, including numerous jokes about the human body and the characters' love lives. Before you watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of any new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned to the end to find out.
Money, money, money.
Toy Story 3. The Toy Story films have often focused on love stories like Woody and Bo Peep or Jessie and Buzz, but nothing has been more stable than the relationship between Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head. Mrs. Potato Head joined the gang off-screen during the closing moments of Toy Story, and the two spuds have been inseparable ever since. They even adopted some of the Pizza Planet aliens as their children and have had it pretty good throughout their time together. We got a little peek into how close the two actually are during a key scene in Toy Story 3. When Lotso Bear confronts the toys and reveals his evil intentions, Mrs. Potato Head steps up to tell Lotso off. Lotso plucks the mouth off of her, which enrages Mr. Potato Head. As he approaches, he exclaims,
"Hey, no one takes my wife's mouth, except me,"
clearly referring to an adult act. The fast-paced dialogue can make this joke easy to miss, but watching the scene over can clearly showcase what double meaning was meant behind the line. Most children wouldn't understand this line at all, but years from now, they look back and truly see what dirty, dirty spuds Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head really are.
Oh, he's strong, like his dad.
Hercules. For the 1997 release of the animated musical Hercules, Disney animators took a whole new approach to the mythological world of gods and monsters. This included taking some liberties with the monster designs and having them fit in with Disney's style. One of the monsters showcased in the film is the giant Centaur. The Centaur is one of Hercules' first true challenges, as he tries to rescue Meg and showcase how well his training has gone. While Hercules' fight skills are impressive, the whole scene is really distracting because of the inappropriate design of the Centaur's skull. Initially, the dropping forehead looks vaguely like a male's body part, but things become much more clearer towards the end of the fight. When a horseshoe hits the head of the Centaur, it causes a long bump to form on the top of the creature's head. The bump and the drooping forehead are not subtle at all and definitely showcase the shape and form of male anatomy. The shot actually appears for several seconds before the Centaur finally falls down and plops into the water. It's pretty surprising the scene made it past the MPAA review board without any censorship or animation changes requested. Ratatouille. It was a long time coming that Disney released an animation focused on the love of food and cooking, and the result was Pixar's Ratatouille in 2007. Breaking too many health code violations to count, the film showcased a young, inexperienced chef named Linguini using a rat in his hat to help him cook and achieve success for his French restaurant. The film has a lot of humor and heart, but there are also a couple of moments that push the scales of adult humor. While many kids may laugh at Linguini's suggestion that Remy the Rat hides in his Incredibles boxers, there's another scene later that pushes this humor even further. Linguini must finally reveal his secret to Colette before she quits the restaurant and leaves for good. While stumbling over words, he reveals he has a very small secret, and Colette's problem is priceless. With a quick glance, Colette can't help but look down at Linguini's downstairs area as he discusses this teeny-tiny issue. The move happens quick, but there's no denying Colette was thinking about Linguini hiding something much smaller under his clothes than a rat. Thankfully, before Colette can respond, Linguini reveals his deep secret and shows her Remy.
You're to be congratulated.
Yes, congratulations.
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 Bambi. If you think back to the golden age of Disney, then you probably assume classics like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty are clean and family-friendly. Well, you'd be wrong. Bambi was released way back in 1942, and it is known for a dirty joke which has remained in the film for multiple decades and releases in theaters, on DVD, and now in digital format. The joke involves one of Bambi's good friends, Flower. In the movie, Flower sparks a romantic relationship with a female skunk. After some playful flirting, the two skunks kiss, and Flower's reaction is pretty risque. After turning completely red, the skunk stiffens up and flops over out of pure joy and excitement. Watching back over the scene, it's pretty obvious to correlate the blood flow, hardness, and excitement which typically occurs when a male kisses someone that they're attracted to. Even back in the day, the Disney animators knew how to sneak in a few jokes aimed directly at grown-ups. Well played, Disney! Things obviously continue to go well for Flower because he actually has a brand new baby skunk at the end of the film. He names the skunk Bambi, after his best friend.
Hey, no cameras! Get out of here!
Cars. After taking on toys, bugs, and monsters, Pixar and Disney teamed up together to showcase the world of Cars. The 2006 film starring Owen Wilson builds a whole world around just cars with no humans at all. This leads to several jokes about cars replacing animals, cars doing human tasks, and an inappropriate joke about flashing. Within the first few minutes of the movie, we are introduced to Lightning McQueen and see how successful he is as a driver. After winning a race, two fangirls approach him in the pit and flash their high beams at him in a scene equivalent of a girl flashing her chest. This wasn't the only topless joke featured in the film. During another scene, a truck stop is shown in the distance. The name of the truck stop is Down TRUCKSTOP, which is another reference to cars revealing themselves or going nude. A small sign underneath the truck stop sign even reads "All convertible waitresses." It's clear these waitresses are using their top-down features to draw on male customers for a lot more than just the food and gasoline options. This joke was harder to notice as it was only featured in a quick clip, but any viewer with a keen eye can easily see it.
Oh, sure. We'll eat our dinner right after you eat this.
Inside Out. For Disney and Pixar's Inside Out, the film played it pretty safe by following the mind of an 11-year-old girl. Even with a pretty active imagination and a love for hockey, the filmmaker still managed to include an adult joke in the mind of the girl. This joke was based on the movie's location set in San Francisco. Not knowing the city very well, the character known as Fear asks if there's any bears in the city. At first, the other moods deny the presence of bears, and then Anger speaks up stating that he saw a really hairy guy who looked like a bear. For most children, this joke may seem silly and harmless, but adults can quickly put the clever puzzle pieces together and understand exactly what the filmmakers were talking about. San Francisco is known for its huge gay rights movement and support of the gay community. In said community, a bear is often referred to as a large, hairy gay man, and that's exactly what Anger was referencing in the clip. It's a pretty risky joke that Pixar let slip through the cracks, but it was a great way to connect the city, new experiences, and the knowledge of the animators.
Not a prince at all. Just a no-account street rat.
No way!
Aladdin and the King of Thieves. When the second sequel to Aladdin was announced, there was a lot that fans had to look forward to. Robin Williams was returning to voice the genie after sitting out for Return of Jafar, Aladdin and Jasmine were getting married, and we were going to learn more about Aladdin's backstory and the parents that left him as a street rat. It was clear from the start of the movie that it was going to be a huge improvement over Return of Jafar, and a quick one-liner from the genie cemented this even further.
Without Jafar and all of his malice.
As Jasmine and Aladdin are about to get married, the ceremony is interrupted by a gang of thieves. When an elephant stampedes by, he causes the whole place to shake. This is when the genie quips a quick line.
The Earth wasn't supposed to move until the honeymoon.
Good one, Genie. Surely the kids missed the joke, but plenty of parents knew the Blue Master of Magic was referring to Jasmine and Aladdin celebrating their wedding under the bed sheets. The line was in the typical style of Williams as he delivers his quick wit using his fast voice and great timing. It will be exciting to see how Will Smith adds his take on the genie for the live-action version of Aladdin.
A rich, powerful ball of charisma. Oh yeah!
The Emperor's New Groove. One of Disney's more underrated animations is The Emperor's New Groove. The movie has a pretty original plot which follows the story of a greedy emperor who is transformed into a llama and must go on an adventure in an effort to reverse the curse. The great voice cast features stars like David Spade, Eartha Kitt, and John Goodman. The breaking of the fourth wall to pause the movie's showcase moments and provide unique animation was something never seen in a Disney movie before and really provided viewers with a fun take on the typical Disney narrative. The animation also provides viewers with a lot of fun sight gags and comedic goofs. One of them involves the character of Kronk as he spends the night outdoors. While his master Yzma sleeps in a gigantic tent, Kronk's tiny tent is barely bigger than the stuffed animal he sleeps with. What drew a lot of attention to the short scene is where the tent got set up. Taking one of the more popular puns about a male's body, animators literally pitched a tent right over Kronk's private area. Children probably won't get the gag, but adults truly understand when Kronk is trying to cover up for his outdoor adventures.
There is beauty in it.
Frozen. One of the things making Frozen feel so fresh and original was the concept of a Disney princess meeting her Prince Charming and living happily ever after. In Elsa's case, there was no man in her life needed to progress her story. In Anna's case, she was presented with two different men who were seemingly good-hearted. Just when you thought the quick romance between Anna and Hans was going to be a great success, she is thrust into an adventure with Sven and a whole love triangle is born. Naturally, Sven wants to question Anna's motives with marrying a guy she just met, and this is where the inappropriate joke comes in. In a rapid-fire pace, Sven lists up a series of questions about Hans and then finishes it up with a quick question about his shoe size. Anna swiftly responds to state the shoe size doesn't matter, but many older viewers know Anna and Sven weren't talking about shoe size at all. The shoe size comparison is often a metaphor for a specific part of the male body. Well played, Sven. But Anna's response shut you down real quick, bucko. It was surprising to see such a risque moment in a film which is incredibly family-friendly. Well, there you have it. What moment do you think was the most inappropriate? Are there any that we missed? Do you enjoy adult humor sprinkled throughout children's movies? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos. Oh, and the answer to our emoji quiz is... Have a good one, folks.
Hey guys, we wanted to give a huge shout out to our new friends, Super Kids. Honestly, these kids are so much fun to watch, so please click on the link in the description to check out their videos now. They're new to YouTube, so please give them a warm welcome by subscribing to their channel.